Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining today's session. So, today's webinar session is based on QA automation testing. So, we are all very excited to have you guys here. And this will be an opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. So, for who don't know me, my name is Kavya and I work at Excel Corp. And I'll be a moderator for today's session. So, before we begin the session, I want to give a brief intro about who we are. So we are Excel Corp, a global IT provider, which has serving 15 years of experience and have been catering the clients in the worldwide. Name a few would be New Jersey, Mexico, and Philippines. So we are one of the fastest growing company in USA with different industry segments. So let me welcome our speakers tonight, Mr. Jigar Desai, who is working as a QA practice director and strategic partner with Excel Corp. Mr. Desai is having 15 plus years of experience in quality assurance with multiple clients and in domain with Citibank, JP Morgan, and credit acceptance, and etc. And worked as a Scrum Master, Software Delivery Manager, QA Manager for last 8 plus years of with multiple organizations. Let me introduce and one more speaker who is Mr. JIT GOEL, the CEO of Excel Corp. So Ms. has over 25 years of experience in the IT industry in the USA. So he specializes in software architect and he completed his BTech in computer science engineering from NIT Rourkela and have executive MBA degree from Harvard, Columbia. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kavya. We'd like to take it over from here. My partner, Jigar Desai, we are both from New Jersey. We'd like to make these sessions more interactive. So, Jigar, would you like to take it over?
Yep, sure.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Kavya. Thank you, Jeet. And welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to see so many people joining this webinar. And I hope you get some valuable information out of this, and then we can, take it forward from here. So what I'll do is I will share my screen now, and then we will go through different slides. We will cover not just the automation, but quality assurance in general. So let me start. So Kavya has already provided my introduction, so I won't go through it again. But I've been with different clients in US for last 17 years. I have worked in quality assurance function, different roles for 15, 17 years. And so worked at the process level as Scrum Master. So, I have seen the older waterfall methods. I have seen the agile, the new technology and everything. So hopefully I'll be able to share whatever I've learned so far at a high level. Okay. I think for Jeet, I think Kavya has already introduced. Jeet, would you like to provide an objective of this meeting and overall, initiative? So after that,
sure. Thanks, Jigar. So basically, I come from a techie background. I'm a BTech graduate of computer science from NIT Rourkela, quite some long time back, 95 graduate. I worked for IBM, AT&T, and CNR Corp, Stream Center, a lot of companies back in New Jersey, New York. My journey started as an entrepreneur after 9/11, 2003. That's when we started our company. We have office in Mexico, Philippines, of course, big center in Chennai, India. So we just started 4 or 5 years back. So my little bit of background about my journey here when I came to India 4 or 5 years back to set up our R&D, software research and development center here. One of the challenge I saw is that engineering graduates, what they're facing, getting a job in the job market is there's a skill gap, what the industry is looking for and what we have been trained in our college. So I think still we have that big challenges. And the market is moving much faster. Look at Chat GPT, GPT-4. I think the dynamics of the market is pretty agile and pretty demanding, but on the other hand, our what we're learning at the graduate level, engineering graduates, is not coping up with the market need. So that's one thing that I see. Now, second thing, this, as a fresh graduates, we don't know where to start. There's so many technical skills around us. Every day new things are coming, and I'm just giving an example of like just JavaScript framework. There's so many things, Angular, React, Vue, these, that, like Java Spring, Java Boot, and microservice architecture in the data science, machine learning, deep learning. So many things going on for freshers is basically become overwhelming, right? So that's a big challenge. Then you talk about like QA practices, full stack development, and like ETL, DW, data visualization. So there's so many things going on. So today's particular session is like, how do we get our hands around on the QA practices? What is the best way that we can become like QA engineer? And any software application design, QA is one of the key component. We cannot let the software, the applications go to market with a lot of bugs. I'll be scared to have any applications go in the market without being fully tested. For example, like my bank account, like Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, or any bank account I'm holding. First thing I was like, is my bank protected? Is my account being secured? And that can be tested only by the QA engineer. So QA is I have been a QA guy long time back, and I've been doing every day. But QA has always been a big challenge for all of us, and we want to make sure that the participants here, they get the right way, the right platform to start their career. And Jigar is my business partner in USA for a long time. We have like hundreds of consultants with in the QA practice, and you guys will be able to understand the model. We are not a training center. Let me make very clear here. We are not a e-learning. We're not a virtual learning courses here. We are a kitchen, where you can learn hands-on, 100% practical. You understand how things are working. What is agile? What is different type of testing methodology? What are different type of tools and techniques? What is performance tuning? How it's working? How to do load balancing? And how do you manage like millions of users? And so there are a lot of things that goes into the QA practice. This is where you guys are able to learn and you get your hands-on experience. So this is the objective of this particular session today. I will now pass it on to Jigar, who is expert in QA, and he'll guide us through the entire process. Jigar, back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. All right, so one more thing I want to make clear. Some of you might have some experience in QA, some might be really advanced, some might be just starting their journey with quality assurance, or you might just be attending the session just to gain the information as to what it is. So I have, like whatever Jeet mentioned about, the advanced items like data science and machine learning and, performance tuning, load balancing, all those areas are, we will cover those in depth later, session. But for now, I have just made it very simple so that everyone who is attending is able to relate to it. Even if you know about it and you feel it's too basic, still I would just want to cover at a basic level, at a very high level, whatever we can cover in 20-25 minutes. Okay, so let's get started. So there are a lot of definitions around software quality assurance, and we all know a little bit of quality assurance here and there. And I have just mentioned the two most commonly used definitions for quality assurance. So basically, it incorporates all the practices or techniques or development processes, right from the requirements until the coding design, and then testing, and then putting the release into production, or putting your deliverable into production, but with the focus on quality, right? So software development lifecycle also is the same, but this one is where the QA resources are involved right from the start until the end. And the focus for software quality assurance is to make sure the quality of the product that goes into the production is good or acceptable at least. Okay. Now, software quality assurance is it's a wider concept, but testing is just one part of it, testing or validation. There are other ways to make sure that the quality is good, which are also part of quality assurance. So one of them is requirements walkthrough, right? So as soon as you get the requirements from the business stakeholders or from the users, you go through those requirements documents to make sure that there are no obvious errors, or there are no conflicts, or there are no issues there. So if you can find the defects or the issues at the requirements level, then that is to fix them. It costs minimal. As you go along the software development life cycle, and as you find the defects in the later stages, it costs more to the company to resolve it, because then you have to go back to the requirements, change that, then design, then coding and everything, right? So as a QA resource, you need to be part of the requirements walkthrough, and you should be able to find issues there itself. Then you should be involved with code and design inspections. That will be with the design and developers in collaboration with them. So that's another technique which is part of software quality assurance. Then we have standardization of processes, standardization of repositories, libraries, standardization of the practices. So if you standardize everything, then you can reuse the same across the board or in different groups, different teams. So basically there is a factor of reusability. So that is one of the area where QA can help out. Then simulation. So a lot of time the devices, the application, everything is not available to test. So you need to have some simulators. You need to be able to simulate how the application or how the system is going to perform in production beforehand. So we have tools available, we have techniques available. So that is also covered in software quality assurance. And the last part, which is the most obvious and everyone is aware of, is testing and validation. Okay. If Jeet, Kavya, let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, so I'll just.
I think I think you're doing a fantastic job. So I think the pace is good. So
okay.
I think we'll allow the audience to ask any questions in the end of this.
Yes, correct. Thanks, Jeet. Yeah, so any questions, please note them down and please reserve them for later part of this webinar. We have a lot of ground to cover, and I would like to, go through all the slides today. Okay, so types of software testing. We have unit testing, which is basically just testing one unit of code, like one line of code or something. So that is generally performed by the developers. But nowadays, there is no specific role since we are moving to agile, where developers and testers and everyone is working very closely. So basically, QA can help developers with unit testing, and developers can help QA with the functional testing. But traditionally, unit testing has been the responsibility of a developer. Then integration testing, as the word speaks for itself, different application will have different interfacing modules. So integration testing is basically how they talk to each other. So basically not in a silo, not in isolation, but how one interfacing module or a application or an interface works with another. So that is what we test in integration testing. Functional testing is the black box testing, where you write the test cases, you test the application at black box, meaning you don't know anything about the code, how it is written, how the software works, whatever. You just start using the application, you hit the application, and you see that it's working as per the requirements. So that is functional testing. Acceptance testing is the testing from the point of view of users. So functional testing, a QA might be a little more technical, and they might know how internal stuff works, and they might not think from user point of view. So that's the reason we have acceptance testing after the functional testing passes. So acceptance testing is basically user acceptance testing. So you test the application, or the users test the application from that point of view. Okay. Then performance testing, as we all know, there are different subtypes. So you basically expose the application to different stress, different volumes, and see that how it performs. It's able to, so for example, if there is some dealing on, and your application is going to be used for buying that product or purchasing that deal, and that day if the volume is going to be too high, so your application should be able to handle that kind of load. So that kind of criteria is covered in performance testing. Then smoke and sanity testing. So this is basically initial level of testing. So generally what we do is, before running a full regression or before even starting the full testing effort, you just have a few scripts, a few test cases you can run it at the beginning, as soon as you get a product to test. And you make sure that it passes the sanity or smoke test. If the smoke test passes, only then that product is good to perform the later stages of full level of testing. So that is the idea behind smoke testing. Then we have database testing. So testing is the backend testing. So when you are adding, like you are passing some data, maybe on front end it's showing something else, but in the database, the way it is stored is different. So basically you need to have some queries to verify what you see on the front end. The same thing is stored in backend. So database testing covers that. And then the regression testing. So what regression testing does is any changes that come in the application, we have to make sure that it doesn't impact any existing functionality, right? So you have like 10 different features already working in production, and you introduce an 11th feature. So you want to make sure that the previous 10 features are working as expected. It should not impact the existing functionality in an unexpected way. So that is what is regression testing. These are the most common types of testing. There are more. There are like hundreds of more subtypes and everything, but these are everything generally is covered in this 10 or 11 categories. Okay. Okay. So this was types of software testing. Now let's go to automation testing. Now all the types of testing that we discussed earlier can be run manually or can be done through automation testing. Okay. So what is automation testing? It's very obvious that we don't want to run everything manually. And once the application becomes so huge, you don't want to keep testing for us any small change. You don't want to run those 200-300 test cases manually. You don't have time, you don't have resources, and you need to go to the market quickly, right? So automation testing is basically testing of the application using automation tools, right? Now tools can be, there are like thousands of tools, we'll cover them later, but automation tools, scripts, they can be used for regression testing. They can be even used for testing new functionality. But the general use of automation testing makes sure that all the existing functionality of the application is tested quickly. And there is a dedicated team that maintains the scripts and the automation testing framework based on the changes that are getting implemented in the application. Okay. Now, automation testing needs some frameworks. Frameworks are nothing but there are some guidelines on how to script, like how to write the code for your test scripts, how to store the test data, how to store the libraries, how they're going to work, how you are going to organize your test scripts. So all those guidelines are what is known as frameworks. And why we use the framework is that once a framework is developed, the same company, if it tries to implement automation somewhere else for some other application, they can reuse the same framework because it has been proven successful, and it helps you reuse everything, and it helps you to test quickly. Okay, so you don't have to continue defining the processes and procedures around automation testing. So that is what framework helps with. Now, frameworks, there are 5 to 6 types of works. I will just scan through them quickly. Okay, module-based testing framework is like you get modules, like it has different modules. Like there could be a login module, there could be a payment module, there could be some other module where you are trying to purchase something. I'm just giving an example of whatever you do online, right? So based on that application, there are different modules, and based on these modules, you segment your test scripts in such a way that this set of test scripts will be part of this module, and this set of test scripts will be part of this module. So there are different modules. So sometimes when the change comes in, and you know that that change is going to impact only these 2 or 3 modules, and you will just use the test scripts from those modules and run them. You don't need to run all the test scripts which are in your automation testing suite. So that is the idea behind module-based. And also any change that occurs in one module will not impact any other module. So that is the idea of module-based testing. Now, data-driven framework is the one where you want to run the same flow, same test case, same scenario using different set of data, right? When you're booking a flight, sometimes like, on Google Flights or wherever you book your flight, you basically go and enter the origin and destination, you enter the dates. So this kind of variable data we store in an external source like Excel file, CSV, database. And this data-driven framework helps you to pick the data for each time we run those test scripts. So same scripts, but different data. So that is what is data-driven framework. Now, keyword-driven framework is where it makes it little user-friendly, means that each and every application has different steps. As I mentioned, login could be a step, payment could be a step, booking a flight could be a step. All those steps are a set of step is a keyword, and that keyword is stored in a data file. Now, what your script does is picks up that keyword and the script as so any tester who is new and not very technical, when he goes through the test script, he can easily understand how your automation suite or your test script is flowing. Like, for example, there's a login keyword, and behind that, there is a test script written in whichever language you want. But in the front, on the Selenium WebDriver or UFT or whichever tool you are using, it has the keywords mentioned. So it's easier to understand how the test script is flowing for a technical tester. Okay. And then the behavior-driven framework is the one which is basically set up completely from the user's point of view. Okay. So basically you have hybrid framework where you can pick and choose any of this mentioned testing frameworks. Okay. So that covers the framework. And we have the most used tool, which is Selenium WebDriver. I will cover it a little more in one of the later slides, but that uses the hybrid framework or any of this type of frameworks that you need. Previously, we used to use the UFT, but now Selenium WebDriver is the most used automation tool so far. I mean, as of now. Okay. So that covers automation testing and the frameworks at a high level. Now I'll move on to the next one. Now, recently we have received, seen some of the clients using scriptless test automation. So the whole idea of scriptless test automation is that instead of the test scripts, you're using the tools that are already built. So for example, there is a framework, there is code, library, test cases. Everything is ready in that tool, which can be just included in the backend, and the automation, like, the application can just use that. So what is the significance or the use of this is that we have a lot of testers and, who come from non-technical background. Now they might need some time to upgrade their skills for writing the scripts and all. Now the scriptless test automation helps these testers with not focusing on writing the scripts. Rather than that, they can think from the user's perspective, business perspective, and come up with very good edge cases, test cases, which can help with overall, test coverage. So which improves overall quality of the product, and there will be less bugs in the production. So that was the whole idea of scriptless test automation. And now scriptless test automation also helps the business users and other stakeholders who can basically just run through the application, call those scripts which are written behind the tools, and they can just use the application to write the test cases and run them themselves. So that is the whole idea of scriptless test automation. There is still a script behind that tool, but the organization that is using this scriptless test automation, their resources are not writing any scripts. So that is the whole idea of scriptless test automation. Okay, so let's not get confused. There are still some test scripts, but the organization doesn't need to hire an excellent automation tester who can write good test scripts or use development resources to write the scripts. All the people who are doing the testing, they can just use this tool, which has everything at the back end. Okay, so that is the whole idea of scriptless test automation. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now we have another concept, so all of us would be familiar with using the user interface, like going to the browser, running application and clicking and running through that, and using the application at the front end. But what goes on at the back end, like the HTTP responses, requests, the whatever happens at the message layer, all that is known as, that is all covered with application programming interface. Now, there are cases where the interface is not ready. When you are creating a new application, what happens is that the user interface, the one that users use, that is not ready. So you cannot start the testing until that interface is ready, which is not the right approach. We want to start the testing as early as possible. So that is what API testing helps with. It helps you do the testing at a message layer. So what happens is you basically have a format in which you input the data, and it goes in some format which is known as JSON. I will come to it in a couple of minutes. But that JSON format, it uses, in that format, the request is passed on and there's a response. And that response is, it shows whether it is successful or not. So at a microservice level that Jeet earlier mentioned, right? So any request that you send, it is basically a service that goes to the server, right? Request goes to the server and server provides the service, like in terms of the response. So that kind of testing at a very, so this is more like a backend testing at a services level. So that is what API testing is. We can cover more, but it's a wide concept, but I'm just trying to explain at a high level as simple as possible. Okay. And then the most used interface, like the tool for API testing, is Postman. Now, Postman supports the JSON format, which is like, JSON format is the one which is like the JavaScript object notation is the full form. But this format helps with basically, it supports all kinds of format. It can talk to different kind of programming languages. So it is language independent. And that is the reason JSON format is the one which is used the most. And Postman is the tool which supports this. So that is used the most. So Postman tool has different methods. Like if you want to update something, you have a post method. Add a new record, you have post method. When you want to retrieve some data, there's a get method. So based on the method selected in this interface, you get a format in JSON, like a structure, and you add all the input in that structure, and you just submit. And in the response, you will see error, or you will see unexpected errors, or you will see success responses and all. So all that kind of testing is known as API testing or web service testing. Okay. And
one more thing here, Jigar.
Yeah.
So guys, the way things has been, the architecture of software development in the past, everything was like coupled together, like, you know, your UI, UX, and the programming languages all used to be on one single platform. Right now, the architecture is more like scalable and decoupled. You know, now UI, UX is not directly integrated with the backend system. So backend, as Jigar is saying, backend can be designed and developed independently, and UI, UX can be done independently, right? So a mobile application developer, designer, or like or web designer using like React, Angular, they don't have to worry about the backend right away. They can just design the UI, UX component like mobile apps or these things, and they just have to wait for the API, you know, the web services called, like people like REST architecture, web services, you know, just to integrate it. And that is like request, I send this kind of data using JSON, and this is the data I'm expecting. So even the UI, UX team can simulate their application testing by having like a dummy data, right? Like the backend team, they can design the entire application in the backend without worrying about like how the UI, UX is going to behave. So this API kind of concept is helping the applications to be more scalable, and is become like much more acceptable in the market. It's like completely decoupled. It's not dependent on each other, no? And that's make things much faster, no? It's like you nowadays you go to the studio and you record a music or video, right? So people are like different layer, they're doing their part, and somebody going to integrate at the end of the day, right? Same thing here. UI, UX people are doing their job. API people are doing their job. QA testing are doing their job. End of the day, when things are ready to go live, they all integrate and make sure that it's all working together. So it makes the HDLC or software development lifecycle process much faster. And this is really amazing, and how things are, you know, there is a paradigm shift in the software industry, you know, in the last couple of years.
Right.
Back to you.
Okay. Thanks, Jit. Yeah, you explained it.
Cycle,
no, you explained it better, because this makes it more clearer. Yeah, thank you. All right. So now coming to the testing tools, there are like hundreds of testing tools available to cover different types of testing. but we have just mentioned few of them which are most commonly used. So Selenium WebDriver, as I mentioned earlier, is the one which is used mostly for the automation testing. And it is used the most because it helps all the, I mean, it supports all the most used programming languages like Java or C Sharp or Python, Ruby. And it is open source, it is free. And how it works is whatever request we send from the front end or the browser, each browser has its own web driver. So with that driver then initializes the server, and then it talks to the server and brings back the response. So like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, all the web browsers have their own drivers, and those drivers are called, you just initialize those drivers, and those drivers will call the servers and fulfill your request. So it is a very simple structure. It's very powerful. It supports all kinds of programming languages, and it's free. So this is the most used automation tool. Then we have Jira. Now Jira is more like, it's basically a repository, but it helps with test management end to end. So you can even upload your test cases there, test results there. You can have your agile boards there. Even the users can go and upload any kind of data they want. So it's very flexible to use, not like other tools which need some training or technical expertise. So this Jira has been used the most for test management overall, and it can be synced with different tools as well, like Selenium WebDriver. It can be synced with ALM. It can be synced with all the other testing tools which you use for test case design and test execution. So Jira is another one which is used the most, but that is not for automation. Okay, that is just to manage the test workflow. Like for example, a new change comes, you create a story for it, and that story becomes ready for testing. Then after ready for testing, if it passes or fails, then it has its own life cycle. Okay, so if there is a bug, then you create a bug there. You can even create different tasks within a story. Like for example, if your story says, okay, test this application, test the payment gateway. So if you're testing the payment gateway, you can create subtasks for performance testing, integration testing, functional testing. You can create subtasks for code reviews, coding. So all that is supported in Jira, and it's very user-friendly. So it is being used the most for test management. Then APM is dedicated to mobile testing. Okay, so mobile testing has its own unique requirements, meaning your mobile cannot support like everything like desktop. It has to be more like, for example, the UI point of view. Then you have to make sure that the context is correct. It fits in those screens, all types of screens on tablets and everywhere. So all those kind of devices need a different set of automation tool for testing. So APM supports that. Next one, Postman, we have already covered. There is another tool interface, which is SOAP UI, which is used for API testing as well. It is just based on service-oriented architecture, and Postman is based on representational state. So those are just different architectures, but REST, which is representational state transfer, that one is more used, and it is more powerful than the SOA architecture. So Postman is used the most nowadays. Then we have Sauce Labs, which supports all kinds of testing, like different browsers, different tools, different devices. So it is the entire, like once you have Sauce Labs, you don't need anything else, sort of like you don't need different tools or devices, or any mobile app can be tested using Sauce Lab, or there's another one which is Browser Stack. So those kind of application like tools are available which you can use for testing different types of application on different devices and different browsers. Then we have Cucumber. Sorry, I missed one. We have ALM, which used to be Quality Center. So that is another testing tool. It is a test management tool, where you can store requirements, where you can store test cases, you can store your test results, you can store your defects, and there are good reports also coming out of the ALM, which you can configure, like how many defects this week, how many testers did what kind of testing, what happened with this test case, which release had this many bugs and all. So it is a good tool. It has been used a lot, but since it has license, it's paid license. So, people are starting to move to open source, which are like free kind of tools for test management. Then Test Complete is another one. Testing tool. Cucumber is mainly based on the behavior-driven framework that we discussed earlier. And then we have Load Runner, which is mainly used for performance testing. Okay, so these are the main tools. There could be some I would have missed, and there could be some which might have started getting used more, but we cannot cover all of them as of now. Okay, so I've just mentioned the most commonly ones. So yeah, that is all we have at a high level for quality assurance. I hope some of you or most of you got some information they didn't know. You got some idea, and hopefully this will help you decide your future course. So thank you very much for attending this session, and I will hand it over to Kavya or Jeet. Thank you.
I think, Jigar, you did a wonderful job. Every time I speak with you, I get something to learn. I think learning has never been like a stopping process for me. But thanks for the wonderful session here. The message I want to send it to the team here is that how do you learn certain things? It's not by watching certain YouTube or e-learning or virtual learning. Unless you practice, particularly software industry, unless you practice and practice and practice, the real time, you cannot learn. You have to make the mistakes, and that's where you learn. So we're trying to initiate a process. We have been doing these things for a long time. I had done this in Mexico, Philippines, and many other countries since the last 15 years, where we inject a practical aspect of learning process to the students. And in our case here, because we're a software development company, we want to make sure that anybody joining our company here, they get the real experience. They do hands-on. We don't have any theoretical aspect here. You jump into the water and start swimming, and you make mistakes, and through mistakes, you start learning. So as Jigar said, like there's so many tools available in the market. You don't have to know everything. But what we do based on our 25 years experience, we know what is most commonly used in the market, what tools are being used, what most of the applications are used. So you get a juice, you get a squeezed version of the tools and techniques available, and you can get to the market quickly rather than e-learning and virtual learning. Like there's so many courses available online, it's never ending. You get bugged out, and I have taken a lot of e-learning courses just to see how things are working. I never found it effective because once I go online, there is no one I can interact, very rarely, and they're like a whole lot of people, it's become more like just like listening more. And sometimes if I had to go to the restroom or come back or take a coffee break, I missed out. And then I say, oh, already there is a recorded video, I can come back and replay. That never happens. So I think physically when you interact with your team members or the managers or lead or your senior program, that's the best way to learn. And this is where we are trying to bring that value. And I'm a little bit concerned here the way the edtech industry is running, not only in India, but globally. It's become more like, okay, let's get the people on board, let's make money. There are a lot of recorded videos, like I don't want to name anything, but so many things like 400 rupees or $5, $10. I recorded video and it's been played for millions of times. I make my money. It really doesn't help the students or people learning. They just get a certificate. Oh, JIT GOEL is now certified in Java developer, as a Java programmer. What does it mean to me in my career? Do I get a job? Did I really learn anything, or am I just collecting a lot of certificates? So here, we're trying to disrupt, we're trying to change the paradigm here, how this learning process should be more practical oriented rather than theoretical. I cannot watch YouTube video on how to make pasta or any dish. I go back to kitchen and watch my mom making the dish, and I take some spoon or something. I would do something and I do 3-4 times. Then I feel comfortable. Yes, I know how to make a particular dish. I have to go to the kitchen, not on the YouTube, not on the e-learning. So our company is a kitchen for IT professionals to learn and make their career. You want to contribute to this to the face-to-face graduates. You come. We are physically in Chennai, in New Jersey, in Mexico, come and work with our people here and make your career. I just want to add one more thing here, how the edtech industry is right now, suffering, and how this is affecting the people's life. If you don't get a job, you go back, you become like a local delivery boy, like Swiggy, Zomato, and become like call center. And then you realize after 1 year, oh, this is not my career. I have a BTech computer science, I have BTech electrical. I spend like so much of money, but where do I stand right now? So we're trying to prevent before you go that path, which is like a dead end, and then you cannot retreat back again, to make your career. So just want to add one more step, one more bullet point here, for you guys. So Kavya, back to you. Thank you, Jigar.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words. Now let us welcome our next speaker, Mr. Mintu Kumar, who is a business development manager, who is going to talk about NYINST. Over to you, Mintu.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Myself, Mintu Kumar, and I'm heading the business development of NYINST. So let me give you a idea why we have started with an initiative called NYINST and where was the idea and how it came. Okay, so we are not into a training business. We started as a product-based company from US, New Jersey, and it's been like 25 years we are into this business. Okay, so when our founder JIT GOEL came to India, and when he saw okay, there are a lot of people who are having a low skill set or they don't have skill set, which is ultimately fetching a no job for them. Okay, then he got an idea, okay, let us start some initiative where we can be bridge between the student and the company. Okay, so what we have came up with the idea okay, let us get them and deploy them on the projects, not to a theory. Already people are spending 4 years of their life on that theory learning, which is fetching nothing. Okay, we are spending a lot of money, a lot of time, but which is fetching nothing to us. So we came up with the idea of NYINST, where we take as not a student but as an associate software developer, and from day one they will be working on a live projects. So there is no theoretical learning or a teaching kind or a method of a blackboard. From here you'll be learning like peer to peer, or maybe you'll be sitting with a senior developer and you'll be learning like how he is doing. Even you can design your own application from day one. That kind of exposure we are giving you. So that was a start where we have started with the NYINST. Okay, so let me present my screen so that you get a more clear idea. Yeah, I hope the screen is visible for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I've already covered these things like pool of talented IT professionals are failing to get a job due to skill gap. Why? Because we have a lot of degree, lot of certifications, lot of things we have done, but ultimately nothing is fetching a job to us. Somewhere we are lacking. Correct. So that's why we have came up with this NYINST concept, lack of platform and mentorship. So if we have completed BTech, we are not getting a degree, we are not getting a path, what happens? We join to some odd jobs, maybe KPO, BPO, delivery, or something which is not too relevant to our profile, because we don't have a mentorship. We don't have someone who can guide us. Okay, and if companies are hiring you also to some very lower packages which start from 1.5 to 3, which goes till 3, they don't give you that pay which you deserve it. Because being a BTech professional or a BTech graduate, you cannot start your journey from 10,000. That you can make as a Zomato delivery boy also. There is a basic pay which decides your knowledge and skills. So that's why college creates a products, NYINST make them a industry ready. So you will be ready in 3 months to enter this thing. Yeah, so now why we are different or how we are different, already I have covered that thing, but here you get a hands-on experience. What I was mentioning, a real-time exposure. You'll be getting into a you are sitting beside a software developer or a full stack developer, and you will see how he is working. The same you will be doing it, and for that we will be guiding you. So we have a mentors who are already a IT professionals. They're not from college or institute. Correct. So here you'll be joining as a associate software developer. We coach on every part of your things, whether it's a technical, non-technical, or even we teach you how how to talk to a person, how to present yourself, how to wear a dress as a software developer. Because being a skill, like only having a skill is not enough to enter into IT professional. Okay, so we also train you on a non-technical part. Okay, so once you be a part of NYINST, you will be ready to go to market. Not only a Indian market, you will be like a global market. You are ready for a global market. Now, what we offer as a NYINST, first thing we guarantee you is a job. Within 3 months, you will be having a job into your dream company. Second, I already mentioned you will be joining as an associate software developer. Now, this learning is designed in 4 things, that is 4P concept. We call it a 4P mantra. Starting, the first P is a physical exposure. So this is not a kind of online you're going to do. You will be having a 4P of exposure. So first thing is a physical exposure, which you will be coming to our office. It's not a kind of like e-learning which you'll do from home. No, it's 100%. You have to come to our office like other employees come. And in the same way, you have to do your work as a software developer, not a student. You don't have to come for attendance purpose. Okay, attendance you have already given a 4 years. What has fetched you? Nothing, right? Second is peer-to-peer learning. So you will be sitting beside a person who is already having experience of 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and you'll be learning from them. Now, third comes is a project experience. So we don't provide you any certificate here. What we provide you is experience. So you will be having an experience letter, okay, which will define like what are the projects you have worked and what are the technologies you are expert on. Okay, and the fourth is a placement, that is 100% guarantee. If you are dedicated, if you are hardworking, come join and get your job within 3 months. Okay, so this is the fourth one. Now, as I already mentioned, you will be deployed into a real-time industry projects from day one. Not only we are giving you project, not only we are giving you exposure, not only we are giving you peer-to-peer learning, we are also paying you a stipend, which is 10,000 a month. We are giving you project exposure, we are giving you everything, even we are taking care of a financial thing for you, so that you can focus on your learning, not on your financial thing. People coming from a different state, sir, I want to be part of this NYINST. How can I enroll for this, or how can be a part of this? So for them, we are providing them a free accommodation and food for 3 months. So they don't have to worry about like where I'll stay, where I'll go. No, you just join here, you be a part of NYINST, everything will be take care of you. Okay, so this is a something what we offer you. Okay, it's like a first priority, like 100% job guarantee. If you're really hardworking, if you want to prove yourself, if you want to see yourself into a Microsoft, Google, Zoho, Infosys, Accenture, Wipro, lot of companies, then come and take this thing which gives you this future. Now, how we are different? If we have a comparison, so none of the companies which are like they're all edutech are online, they don't have a physical presence. We have a class, we have an office where you can come and work as an employee. Second thing, practical exposure. None of the companies is having a practical exposure because they already are into a training business, and training business cannot provide you projects. They can give you some dummy projects which are already there on the internet. But as we are into software development company, we have a lot of products on which you will be working from day one. Okay, second, live projects. So a training company cannot give a live projects because no live projects are always confidential. It cannot be disclosed who is the who has given that, yeah, who are working that. But we can give because we are having our own software development company. Okay, and most of the learning is a theoretical, like you will be coming to class, they'll be using on a board, they'll be writing what is full stack development, learn CSS, Java, then again you go and watch YouTube videos, and so nothing you fetch, just you waste your time on that. Okay, course coverage is limited to subjects, like they only teach you what they give you. Here there's no syllabus, we don't give you any syllabus because we are not teaching you, we are not training you, you are getting a deployment from day one, which none of the company does. Okay, then technical skills, whoever are coming for that e-learning are freelancers, correct? They don't have like they don't take a responsibility for you whether you are learning or whether you're not learning, none of their business. They'll come, they'll teach you, they'll go. Even they are not available to clear your doubts. because they are a freelancers. They are working already for a different company and they cannot bring up projects for you because that is not allowed for them. But we have a in-house like IT professionals who will guide you on everything. Now we train you for a job into market. Like if you get this technology, like if you learn this technology, or if you get a deployment into this technology, 99% of companies are working on that technology. So not only for a start, you will be having a better growth in the future also, because we will be training on the recent technologies and the recent growth, what most of the companies are using. Okay. Now job placement, as I already mentioned, it's 100% job guarantee within 3 months. I'm not telling 3 months also. Within 3 months, everyone will get a placement. Even if a person is very hardworking, like they are giving like in a day, like 18 hours, 19 hours to this, they will be getting a job within 1 month, because we start a placement from 15 days, like from the 15th day of this deployment or the real-time exposure. And now if I come to the fees part, what other companies are charging is a huge, and ultimately you get nothing out of it. But we charge you very less. That too also you have to take care of it after getting a placement. Once you get a placement, you have to pay from your salary, not from your father or mother's salary. Okay. But in other edtechs, from day one, you have to ask your father, give me this money, I have to learn this, and which gives you nothing. Okay. So if you are really want to make your career, like I want to make my career into IT, coming from any background, BTech, any specialization, BCA, MCA, and if you are really interested, get touch with us. We will help you to get it done. But be committed ki I have to make my future, because we don't take enrollment for everyone. There is a screening process where we check whether you are committed, you are hard worker or not. Okay. So some of the pictures I've already shown on the screen. If you see, it's kind of where you will be working, and we are going to provide you everything which is required for this. It can be a system, it can be an internet connection, it can be anything. We are going to provide you. The only thing you should have in you is a motivation. Like in next 3 months, I have to be in Zoho. Next 3 months, I have to be in Wipro, Accenture. That dream you should have, because if you have a dream, then only you can achieve. If you don't have a dream, you'll not work hard for that. So yeah. So any questions, we are open to answers your questions on whatever, like your career path, guidance, project, anything. We have a Jigar sir with us. We have a JIT sir. We are really experienced, and I thank both of them, like JIT sir and Jigar sir, for giving such a informative information on about like QA automation, which even I was not knowing. But now I can say like I have a knowledge on QA automation, which is software testing.
Thank you, Mintu sir. I think, Mintu sir, you got a lot of valid points here. I want to add one or two things just to clarify here. We're not a training center, no. We are a software development company, and creating this world-class IT professional is my passion. I'm doing it because of my passion. Here, the people that are going to that you're going to work with are own IT people, own IT consultant, and I want to re-emphasize what Mintu sir is saying, that we don't bring any freelancers. You know, somebody working for ABC company and come to NYINST and do the freelancing, teaching and training. We are not into that, because if I work for a company A, and if I come to like NYINST as a freelancer, I cannot bring my company A's live projects to NYINST, because there's confidentiality. You know, there's a non-compete agreement. I cannot expose my company confidentiality to anybody. But the people that are going to work here are our own employees, our own consultants. They work for us, and you will be working on our own projects. We have like a lot of products in the market. Pick those, Intel School, Talent RPO, Guide Juniors. These are like huge applications in the market. You know, so you guys will be able to see how the application is designed at the enterprise level. How can it be like a global scale? How like these applications can handle like millions of users, and you can see through by yourself that this is what. So our initiative here is not to make money from you, because you are not a training center. You know, as Mintu sir is saying, like, you know, what we charge you guys is just to cover our expenses. But what is our motivation? Like, if we can make you guys employable, make your dream come true, you know, and someday you guys will become like senior professionals, manager, director, CEO, CTO. This is where we are investing in you in a long-term basis. We'll be proud that you guys learned something from us and you could make a career. So our motivation here is to shape of your career, no? And whatever we learned in our 25 years of experience, we want to share with you guys. So guys, again, Mintu, very clear here. If you're passionate, you want to make a career in IT, then you come here, and just don't come here, not here to take your money, and we're not like a e-learning course here that if you take the money, whether you learn, don't learn. We are guaranteeing 100% job, because if you cannot give one guy a job, if you cannot give a guy a job in the market, he's going to tell hundreds of people, hey, I went to NYINST and Excel Corp and JIT GOEL and Mintu, Kumar and Jigar. They do a lot of things, but they did not deliver. We don't want to get that bad name in the market. We want to make everybody gets a job. So if you get a job, you'll tell your 100 friends, hey, this guy, they promise and they deliver it. So we are a global company. We know what you're talking about here. No, sometimes it might sound too good to be true because you're not used to this kind of market here. We are going to change the mindset of you guys. So we want to change the way things have been done, in the tech industry. So guys, take a chance here. There is no compulsion. Come and see how we do in Chennai office. So a huge infrastructure here. You got to come here to believe it. We are not e-learning. You have to come physically in Chennai to make a career. There is no remote, there is no hybrid, there is no virtual courses. So back to you, Mintu and Kavya.
So guys, we are open for your questions. Any questions you have, just you can put it, you can put it in the chat. We'll clear that questions for you. Any questions regarding anything, course, structure, this webinar, or maybe you want to ask something else, you can just put it in the chat. We'll clear on that.
Any technical questions or anything under the sun, ask. Mintu, are you able to check the chat messages? Anybody monitoring chat?
Yeah, so I've got a question like, what will be the fees? Is it a pay after placement course? Correct. It is something like we will be charging you after getting a placement on. Okay, but subjected you are very committed and hard worker, then only you come for this, because we want like out of 100 we should place 100. So it's a kind of pay after placement only. You'll be paying your fees after getting a job only. So it's not a responsibility for your father or mother to pay your fees, but it's your responsibility to pay the fees. Yes, data science. So we have an advanced data analytics course, which is a kind of data science course only, but starting from very zero level we'll be going, because none of the companies will hire you directly as a data scientist. It's a process where you start your journey from data analyst and you go down the line.
I want to correct here. There's nothing called course here. No, you'll be understanding what is data science, what is like big data, how these different algorithms are being used, what is like Python, what is different libraries, where these projects are being used. So we don't call it it's called like a course here. This is not a course. This is not a syllabus. You will be working on the live projects, and you can go and see our company website. Click those. This is a platform for cricketers. The like Intel School and NYINST. We're talking about here. Talent RPO, Guide Junior. These are our products, and we work with hundreds of Fortune 500 clients in the USA. We work with Amazon, Audible, SiriusXM, Burlington Coat Factory. So these are the customers we've been working for the last 15 to 20 years, and we are passionate about what we do here in the technology. Ambattur Estate, Ambattur Industrial Estate. If you go to Google and search for Excel Corp, XCEL CORP, you'll find we're in Ambattur Estate, Prince Info Park. The intake process will be two things we're looking here. We know that a lot of freshers, graduates are not technically strong. So you'll not be screened on the technical side. What will be screening you is your basic communication skill. You can speak well, okay? And your attitude. Are you really hungry to make your life? Are you really passionate about what to do? Do you have the energy that you want to put, and make your career? So we're not going to judge you based on your technical skill, but we want to qualify you based on your attitude and your ability to learn things. It's more like psychological test for you guys. Okay, so Nishant, I think we will share with you the document that we have two type of a plan for like the placement fee, that we don't collect this, we collect job placement fee, and our team will share with you, after this one call, or maybe we'll email you, So I think there are two type of fees. We give the stipend to people for 3 months. We're 100% sure guaranteeing that you guys will get a job in the market in 90 days, 100% guarantee, And the rest of the other companies, they say like job assistant, job assurance will assist you getting a job. No, in our case, we are 100% confident that each of you guys will get those, right?
So there's a question, sir. In this facility available only for a fresher or experienced person can also join. I am already working as a manual tester, but there's no growth at all. So I want to switch to an automation tester.
Yeah, so it's open for both the freshers and also some experience level. And I have yesterday, I think we had another webinar. Somebody said, I've been working like in some other industry for last 5-10 years. Can I come back to IT industry? Yes. I think they've never been late, come back, you can always start a career all over again, Sujan, I think your question like, yes, how many days you have to come to office? As much is needed, but we have some flexibility if somebody is working somewhere else, because end of the day, it's you going to make a career. So we don't define, how many days you do. So we expect you guys to be here every day, literally, but we are putting like minimum 4 to 6 hours per week. 8 to 10 hours per week, you must be here in our company. You can interact with the project manager, the technical manager, understand the agile process, understand the, the technology. So you have to physically 8 to 10 hours per week, minimum. No agreement. There is no agreement for you guys. Once you come here, understand, learn, and you can move out. You can get a job anywhere. We will give a job to you, or you tell us, sir, can I get a job in Infosys? Can I get a job like in IBM, Oracle, SAP? Based on ability and based on score, we'll try to get you, those interviews for you. No bond.
So, yeah, question
no agreement, no bond.
Yeah, when are the course starting? So we are already starting a batch on 5th April. That is like a full stack for our data analytics. And we are starting another batch on month end, like April last week. And that is for full stack data analytics, DevOps, and QA automation. So 4 batches we are going to start in April month end.
So every week we have a batch starting every week, give and take.
So Vamsi, can we have any confirmation mail before reaching to location? So what kind of confirmation mail, Vamsi? Can you tell me?
Yeah, confirmation means like, yeah, you have been admitted or you'll be joining our company. One thing I also want to add here, thank you, Mintu sir, that none of you guys will come here as a trainee. This is not, you're not a student here. You have the feel that I'm an employee of NYINST, I'm an employee of Excel Corp. From day one, you'll be treated like an employee. You'll be given the ID, badge. You have to feel that I am joining a company as an employee, not as a student, right? And end of this particular, like once you get a job, you will get a experience letter, saying like, Mr. Vamsi worked for Excel Corp or NYINST as a associate software developer. He got work into like Node.js, React.js, HTML, CSS3, PHP, Python. You're able to get all these technical things. And somebody asks you questions, like, can you tell me what is like MySQL database or what is like primary key, foreign key, in this thing? You will be able to answer those questions confidently because you have done it. It's not theoretical. Okay. So Vivek, yeah, we will share the link with you, how to register, and our team will be reaching out to you, and they'll give all the details that you're looking for. Yes, next week we're starting is like full stack developer. So again, full stack, we had a webinar last week. So full stack is front end, back end, and business logic layer, third party integration. So there's so many things there in the front end, like again, like web design as well as like mobile app. So you can learn like Angular, React, HTML5, Vue.js, or on the mobile application, you learn like Android, Kotlin, or iOS Swift, or like or like any kind of hybrid framework like Flutter. In the back end, you can use like Java or like PHP or Python, or like, so there are so many things that goes into the full stack. And again, this is not a course here, so you'll be putting into one of the live applications where you'll be learning practical way. Yes, guys, this is Sujan. Sujan, we're not a college where you get one job placement and you are blocked. No, you have a choice to go get hundreds of jobs, and you pick the best packages, best company that you want to work for. So there is no restriction. In fact, we'll be more happy that you get like 10 job offers from 10 different companies, and we will give you every opportunity that, that you get it, you tell like, okay, I got a job, it's given like X amount. Can I try more? Yes, we'll help you to get the maximum packages that you get. Nissan, yes, you get the certification. See, certification, you get it. But does the certification give you a job? No. We are giving more than the certificate. Everyone will get a 2 certificate, course completed, blah, blah, that to make you happy, okay? Second, you get an experience letter that Nissan worked for Excel Corp or NYINST on a particular project. That is more relevant. We give an employment offer letter. You get a like pay slip for 3 months. So that is much more relevant than just the certifications. Yes, we have a team here. See, technical people, you might be good on technical side, okay? But most of the techie people, I'm a technical guy, right? Sometimes we are not good at preparing the resumes. We are not good at presenting ourselves, We don't know how to take the interviews. We don't know how to, have the basic manner etiquette. So our team here, there are 3 teams here. They will technically train you, you will learn, then they will teach you on the communication skill, how to say, what not to say, and third, like etiquettes and manner. As a professional, how you should present yourself to somebody, how to do the handshaking, how to do the eye contacts, what to say. If somebody asks you questions, instead of saying no to them, how you can tell them in a very positive way, sir, give me a chance, I'll learn and deliver it. So you have to send a positive message to the interviewer. They say, wow, this guy has such a wonderful attitude. Even if he doesn't know, he's not saying no, he wants to learn. So these are all these things you'll get from us based on our experience. Vamsi, you can join any company you want, Amazon, Audible, or like Goldman Sachs, or these things. I'll give an example here. I'm Rahul Dravid of Indian cricket, right? We are coaches. We're going to give you all the ingredients to become like Dhoni and Virat Kohli. It's you, Vamsi, how much you want to put your effort, how much you want to do, what is your dream to go to like Amazon e-company. Our job is to hold your hand and make you walk. We'll teach you how to walk. How fast you want to run, you want to fly, it's up to you. But we'll make you sure that we'll make you walk. Now it's up to your effort and your energy level where you want to reach yourself. Animesh, no. You don't have to have any technical knowledge. Any BTech graduate who joined any company, I also joined NIT Rourkela. I had no idea about programming. We learned in that particular process and we understand very well. We are assuming that none of you guys know any technical knowledge, no program. That's our job, is to get you there. How to become a programmer, how to become a Q analyst, how to become a data analyst, how to become like a cloud architect, how to do like DevOps and Kubernetes services, how to do blah 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 analytics, ETL, DW, BI. So many things you'll be able to learn. You'll be able to practice yourself. Again, this is Nissan, very interesting question here. Again, there are so many companies in the market. We know our competitors very well. They are training centers. They're e-learning, virtual learning. And they said you pay after the job placement, right? They assist you. But there is nothing that you can learn in a practical way. Nothing. What you do here, again, those people in other companies who are training you are freelancers. That means they're working for a company A. And because this freelancer, they want to make extra money, they're coming and teaching you. But their commitment is just to teach you. That's it. Commitment is different. Like Jigar is my business partner for 15 years. All the people that you're going to meet, interact later on down the line are our own employees, our own consultants. We don't allow any freelancer in our company. Yeah, BTech, BE, CA, BCA, BSc, computer science, no? Anybody else? Yep, Sai. We are professionals for last 25, 30 years, no? We are experts in this industry, no? We know how to train people, or how to see when you get like a batch of like 50 people, for example, right? Not all the 50 people are going to be full stack developer, right? Everybody has a different learning capacities. Maybe one guy is interested in learning like Java programming. Somebody might be interested like in QA. Somebody might be interested like in database. Somebody might be interested like in DevOps. So based on the interest part you have in the first couple of days and weeks, we can figure it out what are interested in and where you can learn faster, no? And we will. That's our job, no? It's like it's a journey that you're going to work with us until you are confident that you will get certain job, no, that you're looking. Thank you, Kasi Reddy. Thanks for your compliment. Nishan, there's no entrance. See, guys, it's one way very simple here. We're not a entrance, or you don't write any written test. We just want to talk to you for a couple of minutes on the call, and we want to make sure that you have a good com skill and you have the good attitude. Because with positive attitude, you can move the mountains, right? So I think only your positive attitude, and you should. We are doing this for you guys. This is not for our benefit. End of the day, who's going to benefit? If you get a job, you'll be happy. Your parents will be happy, and you're making a career. So the biggest beneficiaries are you guys, not Excel Corp, not me, or not NYINST. Yep. Again, Avinash, yes, we do have a partnership with a few financial companies here, who will help you to get the EMI kind of things, which is very minimal amount, maybe 6,000 rupees per month to 8,000 rupees per month. So that's very limited amount. It's less than 8,000 rupees per month EMI for 24 months. So I think that's what, but my team will be able to give you all the details. And this amount includes everything. Like if somebody's coming from like Hyderabad, somebody's coming from like Kanpur or Delhi, this includes your staying in Chennai, food in Chennai for 3 months. You don't have to worry. And we are taking a lot of risk here, a lot of challenges, in this particular segment, because we want people to come here and be happy and focus on the career rather than worrying like, where do I want to stay and who's going to give my food, who's going to give my accommodations. You don't have to. We come here day one and start making a career. And we want you guys to come down to our Chennai office and see what we have, interact with the people here. You see a very positive vibe. So I think there are a lot of positive things that we have here. We were trying to be making the changes, in the people's life here. Tyra is for 24 months. Yes, Nissan, hundreds of students got trained and placed. And I have been doing these things since 2007 in Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, Chile. In India, we did like in 2019, before COVID, we trained more than 500 people and 400, 500 people, and they got a job. Because of COVID, we stopped it because we didn't want to change our business model to e-learning. So we hold for 2 years not having this kind of program.
Yeah. So guys, any other questions you have? So we have a very good, very experienced personalities in the webinar, like Jigar sir and JIT sir. You can go for a technical questions also. If you want to ask to a technical questions, you can post that technical questions also.
Mukesh, the annual job salary will be again very subjective matter here, but we're expecting the package on average should be around like 5 LPA. That's the what on average. If you're like, if Mukesh is is a smart guy, he's working hard and he's crazy, you can get like 10, 12, 15, 20 lakhs package. If me, let's say I'm not a fast learner, I'm not really crazy about my career, maybe 3.6 package. So I think it's very subjective. It's people, not everybody is Dhoni, not everybody like Virat Kohli, right? So I think you cannot compare one to other. It all depends on you, what you want to achieve. What will be the future in the job profile role? So I think, Nishant, job profile role is you start as a software engineer, you prove yourself, then you become a senior software engineer, then you become like a architect, project lead, project manager, technical manager, then become the director, you become the VP, then you become the CTO, chief technology officer, You can become the CEO, you can become an entrepreneur, you can start your own career, you can become there's so many wide options available. But again, as you start your career, a lot of things will start opening for you. What you can see now, a lot of avenues will open up. It's like a Pandora box, you start opening up, you start, so, oh, I didn't know this one. I didn't know this one. Again, all of us, if I tell you like 25 years back, Nishant, I was like you, or Mukesh, I was like you, right? I had no idea. But we started the journey, this is how the life has been shaping up. Did I make mistakes? Yes, I made more mistakes in life, but that taught me, how to make it better. We didn't give up.
Thank you, Mintu sir and JIT sir, for your informative words and for answering all the questions. So with this, we have come to an end. And I would like to thank Mr. JIT sir for organizing this webinar and making me a part of it. And I'm going to thank our speaker, our experts, who had a great webinar, great content, and great information and great answers to the questions. So if you guys have any more questions, please kindly reach out to us. So we'll always be there for help you.
Right. I think Kasiredi has questions. Okay, as I told you at the beginning here, does not matter what branch you are from, computer science, electrical, electronics, mechanical, civil, biotech, doesn't matter what industry, like what stream that you are from, BTech, B, all are eligible to learn, not a big deal. And that's our job. We're very confident, we will get you there what you're looking for. So I think everybody can go to our website called www.ny, New York, NYINST, institute. So NYINST.com. You can get all the contact numbers, everything. Or you can go to our parent website, company website that's called Excel, XCELCORP.com, Excel Corp. I'm on the LinkedIn. You can search my name, JIT, J-I-T, last name Goel, G-O-E-L. You can search me, reach out to me. We are not here just for the money. We want to make sure that if we can be any help to you guys, we'll be very proud and we'll be very happy for you guys. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.